With the universal salutations of peace, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As introduced, my name is Shaukat Adam Patel and I am a volunteer for an organization called MEND, Muslim Engagement and Development. We are a community-inspired, run and funded organization that is passionate in tackling all forms of discrimination and hate against Muslims, whether it be in this country or indeed anywhere else in the world. First of all, I'd like to thank the Sri Lankan Muslim Society of UK for giving me this opportunity to say a few words on this extremely important matter. I'm extremely humbled, but I promise you I will not take up too much of your time because there are those here that are by far more qualified to speak on this matter. Saying that, on the night of 7th December this year, a baby wrapped up by his parents was rushed to a child's hospital in Colombo in Sri Lanka. This child, whose name was Sheikh, was suffering from breathing difficulties. The next day, the parents of baby Sheikh got the news that no parent would like to hear, that your child has unfortunately passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Not only has your child passed away, your child has passed away of COVID-19. Now, the parents of this child have both tested negative, but the heartache that they must have felt, especially as this child, like any child for any parent, is the hope and the love of their future. And this child was a prayer that they have been praying for over 6 years that has been delivered to them by God, was taken away from them so quickly. Anybody who has lost a loved one will acknowledge that passing away of a loved one is probably the most hardest part of a human being's life. But this pain and this hate, this hurt and this anguish is further compounded when you are told that you cannot take your 3-week-old baby home to give it the rights of your beliefs, your rituals, your convictions, and give it a burial place, but instead you are told that your child that you have only held for 3 weeks is going to be forcefully cremated. That, my dear respected brothers and elders, is not just an act of aggression. That is extremely a heinous crime, and that is something that we demand that the Sri Lankan government overturns immediately. I would like to make 3 very, very quick points. Firstly, to the Sri Lankan government, as has been already reiterated, you have, yes, ignored the international human rights organizations. You have ignored the United Nations. You have ignored Amnesty International, who have been begging you to revoke your cremation law. Yes, you have, to the Sri Lankan government again, yes, you have rejected your own human rights organization, 24 of whom across the spectrum of Sri Lanka have pleaded with you to reverse this law, yet you have thrown it out from the courts. Yes, you have rejected all the advice given by the scientists from the World Health Organizations. Yes, you have rejected the advice given to you by epidemiologists. Yes, you have rejected the advice given to you by microbiologists. Yes, you have rejected the advice given to you by virologists. But I plead with you to please listen to the chambers of your heart that echoes justice, peace, love and everything that the Buddhist state stands for, and revoke this law and overturn this law so that the already marginalized Muslim community and the Christian community can have some kind of decency when they lose their loved ones, to bury them in a respectful manner and give the families some form of closure and solace in such a difficult time. And secondly, I would like to say to our country here, to everybody listening and the people of UK, please take it upon ourselves to make sure that this message goes far and wide. We have done it here in Leicester, we must take it to our capital. We must speak to our MPs and demand that this question is raised at the next question time to our Prime Minister. We must write to our Foreign Secretary and demand that he has a meeting as an immediate emergency with his counterpart from Sri Lanka, and explain that this is not viable anymore and the international community is looking upon you to revoke your law. We must also ensure that we engage with the media in this country and to make sure they are aware of what is going on, so more and more people are aware of the discrimination that is going on against the Muslims in Sri Lanka. And finally, to the people of Sri Lanka, to the parents of baby Sheikh Muhammad Fahim and Sister Fatima, to the family of a sister called Fatima Zahra, who's 44-year-old and has left behind 3 children, and to the grandparents and to the children of Abdul Hamid, a 64-year-old grandfather who has died, and to the countless other Sri Lankan Muslims and Christian people who have passed away, who have not seen their loved ones after they passed away because they've been forcefully cremated and they've not been able to bury them in accordance to their wills. That you are not alone, that we here are thinking of you, that we here are praying for you. And I finish with the words of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we are but one body, and your pain is our pain, and we will continue to pray for you and fight for you and for justice in Sri Lanka. Jazakallah khair.